Breaking news in the Bronx. This is Bronx Fan Central.
Bronx Nation, what if the answer to the absence of our elite hitter is wearing another uniform right now? The rumor is coming out of the Chicago Cubs, and I'm going to show you why this potential trade makes a lot more sense than it seems. With the MLB trade deadline set for early August of 2026, several franchises are already evaluating whether they will be buyers or sellers. The Chicago Cubs are one of those teams walking a fine line. After a season that has fallen below expectations, Chicago finds itself facing a difficult decision regarding the future of some of its veterans. Among them, the name that interests the market the most, and should especially interest the Bronx, is Ian Happ, a switch-hitting outfielder who will become a free agent at the end of this season. Ian Happ, 31 years old, is a left fielder with rare qualities. He hits from both sides of the plate, consistently gets on base, hits for power despite a lower batting average during the 2026 season, and provides above-average defense. Michael Cerami of Bleacher Nation put it simply: if a team needed outfield help, they shouldn't hesitate to pursue Happ. With Aaron Judge sidelined due to injury, the Yankees are in exactly that position, needing outfield reinforcement and protection in the lineup. Since this is the final year of his contract, the cost to acquire Happ should be relatively low in terms of prospects. Bronx Nation, tell me in the comments, do you know Happ? Have you followed him with the Cubs? Let me know what you think. Look, I'm going to be honest. When I first saw Ian Happ's name linked to the Yankees, I rolled my eyes. Because that's exactly the type of name the front office always brings up when it needs to look like it's doing something. A veteran, a market name, a guy who will fill up Cashman's PowerPoint presentation. But then I looked at the numbers. Then I read the analysis. And I realized that this time, the right move might actually be sitting on the table. Throughout his career, Ian Happ has maintained a consistent OPS above 820 during his best seasons, including appearances in the All-Star game. During the 2026 season, his batting average has dipped, but his on-base percentage remains valuable, exactly the type of profile a judge-less lineup needs to avoid stagnation. Historically, the Yankees have succeeded with similar profiles, high OBP players who don't rely solely on batting average to create value. The difference is that Happ brings something very few players offer: switch-hitting ability. That complicates any opposing bullpen management strategy, something that becomes priceless in October. Dr. Brent Doc 6, 10 year maybe Christian Apidus, Koch Titpus Bill Dissedensis. Dr. Being Do, your tutor your tums. Rather have a Happ who gets on base consistently, or do you want Cashman chasing a prospect who may never even see Yankee Stadium? What we're hearing behind the scenes, and this is still only speculation, nothing signed, no deal confirmed, is that the Yankees are indeed evaluating the outfield market more aggressively because of Judge's recovery timeline. Industry sources indicate that the Bronx franchise does not want to reach August without strengthening at least one offensive position. Duliamst Happ Niall. Nothing is finalized yet, but sources say Happ has emerged in internal discussions as a low-risk, high-fit option. The detail that changes everything. Because this is the final year of his contract, Chicago cannot demand the world in return, and the Yankees would not need to sacrifice their top prospects. This is where I need you to pay attention, because this goes beyond the obvious. Ian Happ doesn't solve the short-term problem simply because Judge is out. He solves the medium-term problem that nobody in the mainstream media is talking about. This lineup needs real depth. Have you seen what happens when Judge returns and the lineup around him doesn't produce? The guy carries the team by himself and reaches October exhausted. Happ hits from both sides, handles left field consistently, and gives Boone more flexibility when setting up matchups against left-handed closers. That's real roster management. That's the kind of thing I've spent years waiting to see this organization do correctly. Dummel to come Miz. Bronx Nation, do you believe Cashman will make a move before the deadline, or will he wait until July 31st like always? And this is where my headache begins, because the right decision seems almost too obvious. And every time the right decision seems too obvious for the Yankees, Cashman finds a way to get it wrong. I've seen this movie before. The trade that never happened. The prospect who stayed when he should have been moved. The championship window that closed while we kept waiting. So yes, I think Happ makes sense. Low cost. Immediate fit. No need to sacrifice the future. But the fan in me, after years of frustration with this front office, already smells smoke. and I'm wondering whether the fire will arrive before the deadline. The difficult decision here isn't technical. It's about courage. And courage is what this organization has lacked the most. If the Cubs officially embrace a seller's approach over the next few weeks, Ian Happ is expected to attract interest from multiple contenders. Teams from both the National League and the American League fighting for playoff spots will enter the race for a veteran switch-hitting outfielder with a manageable contract. The more teams that join the bidding, the higher Happ's trade value climbs, even with his contract expiring. The Yankees have a window of opportunity right now, in June, when competition is still limited and the price remains low. Waiting until July could cost prospects that are far less expensive today. So let me ask you directly, Bronx Nation. Are you willing to reach August without making a move? Are you willing to watch Judge return and find a lineup that still depends entirely on him? Do you trust this front office to act at the right time, for the right price, without making another mistake? Leave your verdict below. And hey, if you're a Yankees fan through and want to wear the colors of the greatest franchise in history, check out the links in the description. Caps, jerseys, hoodies, everything you need to represent the Bronx with pride. Dress like a true Yankee. I'm Ryan Carter. Until next time, Bronx Nation.